He was a respected architect, a family man, a neighbor. For 17 years, nobody suspected a thing. In 2010, police searching for a missing woman on Long Island stumbled across something they never expected: human remains scattered along a desolate stretch of beach called Gilgo Beach. Then more remains. Then more. By the time investigators finished searching, they had found the bodies of 11 victims dumped along the same oceanside road. For 13 years, the killer walked free. He had a wife, 2 children, and a successful architecture firm in Manhattan. He ate lunch at normal restaurants. He rode the same subway as his victims' families. In June 2026, Rex Heuermann was sentenced to life in prison without parole. This is how they finally caught him. It started with a missing woman named Shannon Gilbert, who disappeared after leaving a client's home in May 2010. Police, searching for her along Ocean Parkway, instead found 4 sets of human remains buried in the underbrush near Gilgo Beach. All young women, all sex workers, all strangled. Gilbert's body was found separately a year later. Her death ruled an accidental drowning. The killings took place between 1993 and 2010. By the time the full search was complete, investigators had identified 11 victims across multiple sites on Long Island. The case became known as the Gilgo Beach murders, and for years it went completely cold. The case went cold until 2022, when detectives identified Heuermann as a suspect using a vehicle registration database to connect him to a pickup truck that a witness had reported seeing when one of the victims disappeared. Rex Heuermann was 59 years old, a licensed architect who ran his own firm just blocks from Times Square. He lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Massapequa Park with his wife and 2 children. Neighbors described him as unremarkable. Nobody suspected anything. But investigators had been quietly building a case. They tracked his cell phone data, obtained DNA from a pizza crust he threw away outside his office, and matched it to evidence found with the victims. He was arrested while walking away from his Midtown Manhattan office on July 13, 2023, and had previously maintained his innocence for nearly 3 years. In court on April 8, 2026, Heuermann admitted to brutally murdering Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, Maureen Brainard Barnes, Jessica Taylor, Sandra Costilla, and Valerie Mack, and took responsibility for the uncharged murder of Karen Vogata. He appeared calm and even glib as he rattled off the horrors, at times appearing to be holding back a smirk. When the judge asked how he killed each woman, he replied with a single word: strangulation. His daughter, Victoria, broke down in tears when he recalled dismembering his victims and wrapping their remains in burlap sacks. About 33 years since he claimed his first victim, Heuermann was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Family members who had waited years for this moment stood up one by one and confronted him directly. "I can't even put into words the eviscerating hatred I have for you," said Violet Swager, cousin of victim Jessica Taylor, who would have turned 43 on the day of sentencing. But the story isn't completely over. The skeletal remains of a person referred to as Asian Doe were found near Gilgo Beach in 2011 and have never been identified. Investigators believe the victim died years earlier from blunt force trauma, and authorities have no updates on whether Heuermann was responsible. At least one victim remains unidentified, and the question of whether he acted alone has never been fully answered. So after 17 years of killing, 13 years of investigation, and a confession delivered without remorse, do you think justice was finally served? Or are there still answers missing from this case? Drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. If you want more cases like this, Subscribe to Case Closed Files and turn on notifications. New cases drop every Tuesday and Friday. Thanks for investigating with me. I'll see you in the next one.